Good afternoon, friends. In today's video, I'm doing another budget meal plan. I'll be spending $20 to create 3 meals a day for one adult for 4 days. That breaks down to about $1.67 per meal. I'll only be using the ingredients that I purchased today, along with a few pantry staples that I already have at home. As always, my goal is to create delicious and filling meals. I'm gonna head to the store now to buy the ingredients, and of course, I'm gonna take you along with me, so let's go. Here I am at Walmart, where I'll be doing all of my shopping today, and I have my $20 ready. I usually like to buy things in the center aisles first, since produce can vary based on weight. The first thing that I'm picking up is this can of tuna, which is an excellent source of inexpensive protein. It's priced at 92 cents for this 5-ounce can. I'm going to be picking up a few more canned items. The next one is this can of chicken broth. This is a better deal for me than buying a larger container since I only need 2 cups for the recipe that I'll be making. Next on my list is a box of elbow macaroni pasta. The Great Value brand is 98 cents for a pound. The Great Value brand, which is the Walmart store brand, is usually always cheaper than the name brand items. Next, I'm picking up both a can of tomato sauce priced at 88 cents and a can of petite diced tomatoes priced at 88 cents as well. I chose this one, which includes onion, celery, and green bell pepper because I don't have it in my budget to buy the celery or green pepper, but it would definitely add a great flavor to what I'm cooking. Next, I'm picking up 2 cans of chickpeas. They're priced at 78 cents each, so 2 of them will total $1.56. I need a box of spice cake mix, and I don't see it available in the Great Value brand or even in the Pillsbury brand, so I'm going to have to go with the more expensive Betty Crocker brand. This box of cake mix costs $1.68, and most of the Great Value brand boxes cost just 98 cents. It looks like I'm going to catch a break when it comes to canned pumpkin because these are marked down to just 25 cents each, and they are still in date. As you can see, a can of pumpkin in the Great Value brand is $1.47, so this is going to save me some money. Next, I'm picking up a 1-pound roll of frozen ground beef. It's priced at $3.97. Ground turkey would be slightly cheaper, but to me, I want the extra flavor that the ground beef will give in the recipe that I'm making. To save money, it's better to buy the frozen ground beef because if you look at the fresh ground beef in this roll, it's the same thing, but almost $1 more expensive. I really want baby arugula and baby spinach for a salad that I'm making. Unfortunately, this container of organic kind is my only option. It's priced at $2.98. Since that's so expensive, instead of getting an English cucumber, I'm going to get a regular cucumber because it's less expensive. These are priced at 72 cents each. Next on my list is an avocado. These small ones are priced at 74 cents each. And thankfully I found one that wasn't rock hard or overripe. Usually at the store it seems like there are only those 2 extremes. And since when did potatoes get to be so expensive? They're priced at $1.48 per pound now. I don't know why, but my store now has these scales instead of the other ones, and these are not as accurate. It looked to me like this was pointing to a little over half of a pound, so this should be about 89 cents. Onions are priced at $1.08 per pound. I looked and this was the smallest one that I could find. This one should be about 75 cents. The things that I've picked up so far total $17.92, which means that I only have $2.08 to get the remaining items that I need. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to make some compromises. I wanted to pick up this Great Value brand plain Greek yogurt priced at just 64 cents, but it is all out of stock. And the name brand is almost double the cost. So I'm gonna get eggs instead. This actually is not a replacement for the Greek yogurt, but I think that this will be a great addition to some of my meals. Thankfully, eggs have gone down in price recently. This half dozen is priced at 83 cents. I've been really wanting to fit bread into this meal plan, and it looks like I'll be able to do that if I buy a loaf from the discount rack. This loaf of French bread is priced at $1.10, so that puts me 15 cents under budget. I think that I have a pretty full cart for $20. I wasn't able to get everything that I wanted, but I'll still be able to make some great meals with this food. Now I'm headed to checkout. Remember when I told you earlier that the new scale in the produce section is not as accurate as the old one? Well, the potato and the onion rang up for less than what I was expecting. I'm now 25 cents under budget, so I ran back to grab a banana. They're 50 cents per pound. That banana was only 20 cents, so I spent $19.95 total, which puts me 5 cents under budget. For breakfast each morning, I'm going to have pumpkin spice muffins along with scrambled eggs, and for the first two breakfasts, I'll be able to have half a banana. To make the pumpkin muffins, all you need is a box of spice cake mix and a can of pumpkin puree. I know some people also add 2 eggs to this recipe, and you can do that if you'd like, but it's not necessary. I won't be doing that because I'll be saving my eggs for other things. I won't be adding any of these things to this mix except for the can of pumpkin. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and now I'm spraying my muffin tin. I'm going to be doing mini muffins just because I think it's cute. But you can do the regular size as well. These are really good as a cupcake as well. When I make them as cupcakes, I make a cream cheese frosting, and it is so delicious. I realized when I got home that I could have just bought the yellow cake mix, the Great Value brand, and then added in pumpkin spice. So that's an option as well if you have pumpkin spice on hand. This is a pretty thick batter in comparison to other baked goods. It already smells so good, you guys. I'm very excited to make these. I'm just using a cookie scoop to scoop them out. There are 24 spaces in this tin, and I have some batter left over, so I think I'll make about 30 mini muffins. I'm gonna stick this in the oven for 10 minutes and check on it. While the muffins are baking, I'm going to scramble an egg to go along with breakfast. For the first 2 days, I'll have half of a banana with breakfast, and for the last 2 days, breakfast will be the same, except I won't have half of a banana. Now, I made 30 mini muffins, so that means that I can have about 7 per day, but I probably won't eat that many, or I may eat them as snacks throughout the day. I decided to switch my scrambled egg to a fried egg for the last 2 days for breakfast. For lunch on days 1 and 2, I'll be making tuna salad. I'm gonna make it as a salad over lettuce one day and then also as a sandwich. The avocado will be replacing the mayo in this recipe, so if you're not a big fan of mayonnaise, you might want to try this. First, I'm cutting and peeling this cucumber. Now that I have it peeled, I'm going to cut it in half lengthways and scoop out all of these seeds. We won't be using the seeds. Now I'm going to cut these cucumbers up. I'll set these aside for later. Now it's time to cut and mash my avocado. Doing it this way makes it really easy to scoop out. And now I'm mashing up my avocado. I'm using a potato masher. You can just use a fork if you want. Now I'm adding in lemon juice. This will keep the avocado from turning brown because I'm only eating half today and I'll be eating the other half tomorrow. And it obviously also gives a lot of flavor. Next is half a teaspoon of garlic powder and salt and pepper to taste. Now I'm mixing this up. I'm adding in half a cup of the cucumbers. The rest I'll put on top of the salad. I'm draining my can of tuna before I add the tuna in, and I will set this juice aside to give to my cat because she loves it. I'm adding in the whole can of tuna. Now I'm mixing the tuna in with the avocado. I forgot that I have this dill flower from my mom's garden, so I'm gonna take some of the seeds and sprinkle them on top. If you have dill weed in your spice drawer, you can use that as well. As I said, you can use dried dill weed or fresh if you have some fresh. I'm gonna just add a little bit of that as well. Today I'm having this as a salad, so I'm gonna put the arugula and spinach mix down first, and then add the remaining cucumber pieces, and then top it with half of my tuna salad. I'm having a couple of pieces of bread on the side. And I also added 1 hard-boiled egg. Here is lunch on day 1, tuna salad. I ended up sprinkling a little salt and pepper on my eggs. It looks delicious. I'll let you know how it turned out. I really enjoyed this lunch. It was fresh and tasty. This is the recipe that I was going to add the Greek yogurt to. I think that adding the Greek yogurt would have made it creamier and more like traditional tuna salad. Lunch on day 2 is avocado tuna salad sandwiches. I enjoyed this version as well. I toasted the bread before I assembled these little mini sandwiches, and I recommend doing that. I'm making goulash for dinner on nights 1 and 2, and I should have enough left over to have it for lunch on days 3 and 4. I'm preheating the oven to 350 degrees, and I put some water on the stovetop to boil for the noodles. While I'm waiting for that water to boil, I will cut this onion up and mince the garlic. My pasta water is boiling, so I'll add in half of this box of elbow macaroni. I'll boil it for about 7 minutes, which is less than the time listed on the box, because we're going to cook it with the rest of the goulash later as well. While the pasta is cooking, I'll be cooking my ground beef and onions. I'll break the meat up and then I'll add the onions in. Now I'm adding in that onion. I've browned the beef and the onions look translucent. So now I will drain the grease before I add in the other ingredients. And now I'll add in my garlic. Once the garlic has become fragrant, I add in my tomato sauce and my petite diced tomatoes. Next, I'm adding in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Along with 2 teaspoons of salt. And about half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm also adding in 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Now I'll mix in all of the pasta. Whew. Now I'll put this in the oven for about 20 minutes. I just pulled it out of the oven and 20 minutes was perfect. This is the finished meal right out of the oven. It looks great. If you do have cheese on hand though, that would make it even better. This was definitely my favorite meal that I made in this video, but that's no surprise because I love pasta. This is like a less saucy version of spaghetti, but it still has all of that great flavor from the ground beef and the Italian seasoning. I had 1 big bowl of goulash along with 2 pieces of bread and I'm stuffed, and this is what I have left over. This will definitely be enough for tomorrow night and then lunch for the next 2 days after that. For dinner on nights 3 and 4, I'll be making chickpea potato soup. And I want to mention, if you would like to make this a vegan soup, you can substitute the chicken broth for a vegetable broth. My first step is to puree 1 can of chickpeas along with the liquid. This will add some creaminess to the soup, especially since we're not adding any heavy whipping cream to it. Next, I will peel and cut up the potato and peel and mince the garlic. Normally, I always have pre-minced garlic in my fridge, but I happen to have some fresh garlic on hand already, so I figured I might as well use that. If you don't have fresh garlic or minced garlic, you can use garlic powder. If you don't have that, you can use an onion. If you don't have an onion, you can use onion powder. If you don't have all of those things, you can use a Lipton soup, part of a Lipton soup mix. I'm heating up some olive oil on medium-high heat. Now I'll add in that garlic and cook it for about a minute until it becomes fragrant. It's been a minute and now I'm adding in my pureed chickpeas. I added in my second can of chickpeas and I did drain this can before I added it in. Also adding in my potato, a teaspoon of paprika. Oh, that's a little bit more. A teaspoon of rosemary, half a teaspoon of thyme, or actually just however much is left in here. I'm adding in my can of chicken broth, a dash of red pepper, and salt and pepper to taste. This has now come up to a boil, so I'll place the lid on, turn the heat down to low, and simmer it for 25 minutes. This is what I'll be having for dinner on nights 3 and 4. It looks delicious and I am ready to dig in. This is such a simple soup. It's simple to make and it's simple in regards to the amount of ingredients that it requires. Even though this soup was so simple, it is still so delicious and I love dipping my bread into it. If you want to make this soup a little heartier and add some color to it, I would recommend adding in carrots. Another substitution that I want to mention is that if you don't have the spices that I used, you could substitute curry powder. It would give it a totally different flavor, but it would be just as good. Usually at the end of these videos, I show you the ingredients that I have left at the end of the challenge. And for this one, I just got busy and I did not film it. And we've eaten most of the food since then. But after the meals that I made for this video, I did have half a box of pasta left, some bread, and some of that spring mix as well, in case you're curious. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I've done several of these in the past and I will leave a playlist to them in my description box below if you want to check them out. This will probably be my last video for a while. I might come back around Christmas time to do a few, but if you could give this video some love by leaving a comment below or hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye. Check out my Instagram and TikTok. They are both at Amy Way to Save.